Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Sakura no Mori Dreamers. When last we left off, well, we got a few answers about some stuff. We, learned the name of those weird, strange creatures, learned that we're not the only one that can see them, and we made plans to go and talk to a group that is fighting them? Well, doing something with them. And we had a title drop. Those are always interesting. And, well, hi, Kat. I don't think there's much else, so, let's get back into it, shall we? Bodox, beings that spread death. You were listening? Started around midway, or to be more specific, from around when you reached Forza. It startled me to see so many of them in one place, too. Yeah. You mentioned it before, but did it look like that during the plane crash, too? I nodded. I think we should check Forza one more time, regardless of what Kureha said. Alright. I returned to the shopping district. Not like there was anything I could do if something was happening. And if I tried to explain, I'd either end up getting ignored or get the police called on me. But all that would probably change once I joined Sakura no Mori Dreamers. I peeked inside, but it didn't seem like anything was happening in particular. It looks fine. I finally felt relieved. Then again, the mere presence of Bodox was bad news by itself. Speaking of which, Kirito was about to say something in regards to that. With so many of them there, it's possible that... It didn't sound like many people were able to see them. I can now, though. I wonder if it's because I'm similar to them. Madoka ignored my confusion and glared at me. That said, you didn't seem particularly displeased when she held your hand. I bet you're thinking something along the lines of never washing it again. I already did just earlier in the park's bathroom. What a waste. What's up? Are you jealous? I tried to make a joke out of it, but she answered in a gloomy tone. How can I? I'm a ghost. After Madoka died, I kept wishing to see her again. And that wish was granted in a way I never expected. As I sit here and pop my knuckles, probably too close to the microphone, but whatever. It was under my desk, it should be fine. Madoka. I didn't care if she was a dream or a hallucination. What a nice picture. Or even a ghost. Even if I couldn't feel the warmth of her embrace. In the end, it wasn't just monsters that I could see. It turned out I had another power. I hoped I could put it to use somewhere, though I still didn't know where or how. As such, I'm rooting for you to find a new girlfriend. I'm serious. Okay. What do you think about Kureha? What do you mean? You can tell from the flow of the conversation. What do you think of her as a girl? I can't say. We just met yesterday. But I hear there are times when it doesn't even take 5 minutes for love to sprout. I don't think something like that would work for me. Yeah, I guess you're not that kind of guy. It's not as much about me being one kind of it or another as it is. Now it was my turn to be gloomy. About you. You still can't forget me? That's part of it. It was probably because of me that she stayed behind in this world. We never discussed how she felt about being stuck here. Well, I'm sure you'll have lots of opportunities once you join the Sakura no Mori Dreamers. It may not have sprouted in 5 minutes, but it'll surely sprout eventually. But you sure you're going to be okay? About what? This time, I really didn't understand. It's true that we got no idea what Bodox are. It's something for the realm of philosophy at this point. But they're still dangerous, right? I mean, they bring people closer to death. She answered before I could. Doesn't sound very smart to approach Grim Reapers to me. Yeah. But you still want to join them? Yes. Why? That's... You fell for her after all? That'd be good too. What I really want is to put this weird ability to good use. Hmm? We never discussed this, so even Madoka had to give me a puzzled look. Could I have praised you for it too? It really does seem like you've got a strong sense of justice. I'm proud of you as your lover, but it also makes me worried. Madoka disappeared. I promised to go to a friend's place, so I won't be able to walk you home tonight. Oh, that's unusual, especially so late at night. I gave Miss Miyako a vague excuse. Be careful on your way home, you two. Okay. You too. I nodded. It wasn't exactly unusual to worry about these kinds of things in this country, but... Oh god, now I have a bad feeling about Miss Miyako here, who still is just titled Hatsune's mother. Right? Yeah, still just Hatsune's mother. Okay. Sakura no Mori, unfortunately, wasn't normal. Kirito lived about 10 kilometers away from my house, an intimidating distance with a city bike, but it was no big deal with the road bike. I mean, I wouldn't want to fucking travel 10 kilometers away. I don't technically know how far 10 kilometers is. Hold on. I'm an idiot. I accidentally pressed my end recording button instead of my pause recording button, like the big dumb that I am. Anyway, 10 kilometers is about 6.2 miles. Because I am dumb American and don't know metric really at all. But yeah, well, I know a little bit of grams. I can't convert between the two, but I do know, grams. I know metric weight because of baking, and most of the recipes that I find are in grams or in ounces. But yeah, that's 6.2 kilos or 6.2 kilometers. So that's 12 kilometers total. That's not fun. I don't remember what the average speed on a bike is, but I want to say that walking speed, like walking at a decent pace, is something like 3 to 5 miles per hour. So I'm going to guess it's probably on a bike going to be... It's going to take at least an hour to get there, I'm going to guess, walking. I'm going to say it's going to take about a 30-minute bike ride. So that's not horrible. That's actually not as long as the walking trail that I walk occasionally in the nearby park. But, well, actually it might be, because it's been a bit. I have not gone because of circumstances, but actually I think I might have gone around. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's not too bad. But that's still not something I would want to do in the dark in a city where people have been going missing frequently. Call me paranoid, but whatever. It's been a while since I cycled. I didn't normally ride, but I still kept it well maintained. It was a memento of her, and one of the most precious things I possessed. It looked so small now, and we were actually around the same height when she still lived. You go bigger in a few years. Dad said so, didn't he? I remember her saying something along those lines. I just realized that you can actually see the house next door that is probably her house, and it's lit up, and that is kind of a somber thought. It turned out to be true. It had already gotten a bit small for me, but I could still ride it. In any case, I had not the slightest intention of buying a new bike at this point. If there ever came a day I couldn't ride this at all, I'd quit cycling altogether. The slope wasn't as easy as I remembered. Actually, it was downright awful. Huh? You're really out of shape, aren't you? Madoka chuckled. Can't believe you're the same person who managed to get up this slope with a city bike. Because I'm not dressed properly. Well, I guess jeans aren't exactly the best pants for cycling. Why don't you use this occasion to start cycling again? Occasion? I'm sure this won't be the last time you'll have to go to Kureha's house if you join Sakura no Mori Dreamers. That made sense. But I just can't get in the mood. Is it because it's too small? No. I think okay, I'll stop doing that. I think I told you the reason already. I don't think I like it as much as you do, and I don't get in the mood for it alone. Our feelings perfectly matched. I only liked cycling because Madoka was there with me. Madoka couldn't have forgotten that either, but she refused to bring it up. But don't you think road bikes are cool? You don't attend any clubs, so why not start riding again? I knew what she meant. She was urging me to go ahead with my life, just like that girlfriend business earlier. I understood that, but... That said, I could have maybe used some more exercise lately. I confirmed the nameplate in the faint lamplight coming from the gate. No mistake, she really lived in this mansion. I'm curious about the time frame that this takes place in. Wonder if cell phones are a thing, because they've not really been mentioned much so far, have they? Next to the normal main nameplate, the building also had an old-fashioned tablet on the wall. The fancy calligraphy was a bit hard to read, but it seemed like it stated this place was also a dojo. I suppose that was what Kureha meant by dojo students earlier in the park. I pushed the intercom button and waited for a few moments. Hello, man's voice. Can I turn you off, please? Please? It does not look like I can. Lovely. Yes? I made a promise with Kirito, Miss Kirito, to meet her on these premises. Now that I thought about it, I'd never been to a girl's house before. The thought made me tense. Really? I'm sure you've been to Madoka's house. Ah, yes. Just wait a moment. Okay. Good evening. God, you look like a stereotype. Is something wrong? He was staring at me. I like your voice. And again, I've liked all of the voice casts so far. But also, could you be any more stereotypical? Well, I guess you could have the, that was weird. I guess he could theoretically have the foot-long eyebrow hair and the Fu Manchu that goes down to his waist. Actually, I'm kind of disappointed he doesn't have a Fu Manchu that goes down to his... Let's not dwell on things. No, never had a man visit my granddaughter before. Hey, Kureha, your hot boyfriend's here. What? Grandpa, don't shout things like that. Oh, right, she said she wears a kimono. I told you to warn me when he comes. Why did you come out without saying anything? Did you? I keep forgetting things in my old age. Jeez, somehow you're only ever senile when it suits you. Good evening. Good evening. And Grandpa, Fukigami isn't my boyfriend. He's a friend. Or a comrade, if you will. All of those are basically the same anyway. In what way? Kureha had a mature and graceful image in school, but it seemed like she acted her age back at home. He's a pretty handsome one after all. And has nothing to do with anything. It's too bad he doesn't brush his hair. This is because I had a helmet on. I pointed at the road bike leaning against the wall. Oh, that looks like one impressive bicycle. It pains me not to do my stereotypical old man voice for this stereotypical old man, but I'm going to refrain because it hurts my throat if I do it too much. So this is the bicycle you were talking about. It does look fast. Oh, a helmet for riding a bicycle. You play it safe. I can respect that. I left my bike in their yard and entered the house. The interior was just as impressive as the outside. Oh, hi, person. You're not named, technically, but can I get fuck, of course not. Good evening. Good evening. This is, Shizumiya Mahodo. She's 1 year our senior. Out of curiosity, are you well, I guess I can mute your voice now. Are you a love interest? Because I don't remember the names of them. Well, you're at the top, which makes me assume that yes. Let's see, you're that one? Yes, you are. You're number 2 on the list. Good to know. Good to know. I've heard that name before, but not wanting to interrupt, I merely nodded. And this is that Fukigami guy I've been telling you about, Mahodo? So it is. Pleased to meet you. The pleasure is all mine. Her design is actually vaguely familiar to me, and I'm trying to place it. It might just be the hair, actually, so, eh. Kirito left the room to make some tea while I sat down on the floor cushion as per the urging of her grandfather. Lucky I could go for some tea. Granted, I'm sitting here drinking beer, so maybe not. He sat down too. I wondered if that meant he was a member of Sakura no Mori Dreamers too. Fukigami. Yes? I straightened my back, preparing for a serious conversation. I'm gonna guess this is Comic Relief Grandpa, and I don't think we're gonna have a serious conversation. Now, he is no Uncle Grandpa, but, Comic Relief Grandpas are not always a bad thing. Do you have any interest in kendo? Eh? You're already trying to pull him in? This dojo's expenses must have driven you to the wall. That's not it. I'm doing it as more of a hobby anyway. He's got a good build. I just thought he might have a knack for it. I'm not particularly interested in martial arts. I'm sorry. I see. That's too bad. Yeah, I cannot for the life of me. Her design is so familiar, and I think it might just be the hair, especially because she does have a bit of a classic style intake hair going on, but still, there's something so familiar about her. It's not the outfit, because that's just sort of not exactly a generic sundress, but that just seems to me like a fairly, non-specific outfit. It's just so familiar. So familiar. By the way, Fukigami? Yes? I straightened my back, thinking that this was finally the time for the serious stuff. Do you have any interest in kendo? Eh? I hear that when you're pretending you're going senile, it actually accelerates the natural process. Is that true? Shizumiya had a gentle air about her, but it appeared she wasn't the kind to pull punches. I don't think the result will change no matter how many times you try. Really? Don't you think it takes a lot of perseverance to get a date? I'm more of the opinion that men that don't know when to give up end up disliked. Ugh. Only I do that when I was younger. Have you done something in the past? If you wish, I can tell your wife all about it for you. Not really, I'm clean. Kirito said her houses weren't that far apart, which probably explained why they acted almost like family. Seriously, I don't know who she took after, but you can't take a joke. And me Kureha, I imagine. Don't you think that should be the other way around? Well, I guess all of our women are more or less like that. Kirito's grandfather turned to face me. It's been a while since I met a student that excited me, and I had long since decided not to welcome anyone but my disciples as my granddaughter's husband. Is somebody sharpening their axe? How come I've never heard of that before? Kureha, and a good taste to open doors with your leg. Both of my hands are busy. What was I supposed to do? Good grief, if you don't learn how to behave more like a woman, you really might never find a man. Talking like Macho Man now? Christ. Are those things even related? Of course it is, right? Uh-huh. Who's putting me in a tough spot? I don't think that's the problem in Kureha's case. Rather, I bet she's thought of as hard to approach. Really? It seemed she wasn't self-aware. Well, that's not something you can tell about yourself, I suppose, but you're in the same class with her as her, aren't you, Fukigami? You understand what I mean, don't you? I guess so. Yeah? You might find a guy right away once she learns how to act a bit more approachable. Approachable? Well, I'm not really looking for a boyfriend right now anyway. Huh? Weren't you complaining you were so busy you couldn't even find a man before? We can talk about that later. That's why I'm telling you to come over to the dojo more. All the rowdy blokes would love to see you. No, thank you. Jeez, I didn't have Fukigami come over to discuss things like this. We've got to explain everything to him. Indeed. Seems I got a bit excited that you brought a man over for a change. Huh? Why? He may not join my disciples, but there's still a test to pass to be with my granddaughter. Jeez. Kirito's grandfather chuckled, but his eyes regarded me sharply. Let's see. I don't have a time. Well, I do. I have my timer. Yeah, I don't want another super long episode, so I think I'm going to end this off here. And next time we are going to start off with. It's very windy all of a sudden. We are going to. Fuck. We're going to start off with some exposition by. I'm going to guess mostly comic relief grandpa and count them, two possible route options. So, well, I hope to see you all next time.